सर सो मुझे लगता है अनिल जी कहीं ना कहीं एक सेंटिमेंट बूस्ट की जैसा मैंने बात करी ज़रूरत है। तो आई थिंक रूपी में थोड़ा अप्रिसिएशन जरूर हुआ है, 90 रुपए के आसपास आ गया है। पर ये जो डिसऑर्डरली मूवमेंट है करेंसी में, जो ये सडनली कहीं ना कहीं मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा सा एक बॉन्ड मार्केट पे, करेंसी मार्केट पे, इक्विटी मार्केट पे एक तरीके का एक, आप बियर अटैक तो नहीं बोलूंगा मैं, और 2013 से तुलना नहीं करूंगा, थोड़ा सा है। आई थिंक उसको ब्रॉड बेस एड्रेस जब होगा, जब इकोनॉमी में थोड़ी सी एनिमल स्पिरिट फायर होगी समवेयर, मुझे लगता है ग्रोथ भी अनइवन है, सेंटिमेंट भी अनइवन है। कोई भी पॉजिटिव न्यूज़ है वो ब्रॉड लेवल पे, ग्राउंड लेवल पे सेंटिमेंट को इम्पैक्ट नहीं कर रही है, तो उसको
I welcome you all to the first policy of this year. We are only in the second month of the new year and have already witnessed momentous actions on the geopolitical and trade tariff fronts. Amidst heightened geopolitical tensions and elevated uncertainty, the Indian economy is in a good spot with strong growth and low inflation. Inflation remains below the tolerance band and its outlook continues to be benign. High-frequency indicators suggest continuation of the strong growth momentum in Q3 this year and beyond. With the signing of a landmark trade deal with the European Union and the US trade agreement in sight, growth momentum is likely to be sustained for a longer period. Global growth, supported by tech investments, accommodative financial conditions, and large-scale fiscal stimulus, is expected to be marginally stronger this year than projected earlier. However, the confluence of escalating geopolitical frictions and rising trade tensions is unraveling the existing world economic order. Inflation outcomes are heterogeneous across jurisdictions, remaining above target in most advanced economies, prompting divergence in monetary policy actions as central banks near the end of their current easing cycles. Against a global backdrop that has increasingly become more cautious, bond market sentiments remain bearish, reflecting fiscal sustainability concerns. However, equity markets driven by tech stocks remain upbeat. The Monetary Policy Committee met on 4th, 5th, and today to deliberate and decide on the policy repo rate after a detailed assessment of the evolving macroeconomic conditions and the economic outlook. The MPC voted unanimously to keep the policy repo rate unchanged at 5.25%. Consequently, the STF rate remains at 5% and the MSF rate and the bank rate at 5.5%. The MPC also decided to continue with the neutral stance. I shall now briefly set out the rationale for the MPC's decisions. They said that since the last policy meeting, external headwinds have intensified. Though the successful completion of trade deals augurs well for the economic outlook. Overall, the near-term domestic inflation and growth outlook remain positive. Headline inflation during November and December remained below the tolerance band of the inflation target. The revised outlook for CPI inflation in Q1 and Q2 of next year at 4% and 4.2%, respectively, revised slightly upwards, continues to be benign and near the inflation target. The slight upward revision in the inflation outlook is primarily due to increase in prices of precious metals, which contribute about 60 to 70 basis points. The underlying inflation continues to be low. On the growth front, economic activity remains resilient. The first advanced estimates suggest continuing growth momentum driven by domestic factors amidst a challenging external environment. The growth outlook too remains favorable. Based on a comprehensive review of the domestic macroeconomic conditions and the outlook, the MPC therefore was of the view that the current policy rate is appropriate, and accordingly it voted to continue with the existing policy rate.